Hello YouTube, B3 here back with another kicking action figure review. Today's review is over one of the brand new Series 3 Pacific Rim figures from NECA. It is the Pacific Rim Trespasser Kaiju. Very cool. The first Kaiju to ever appear in the mythos. By appear in the mythos, I mean the first one to attack our dimension. Very awesome. This is the Kaiju I've been wanting them to make because I liked the design of Trespasser. It's like it's pretty much knife head body for the most part, with a little bit of differences in the chest, different head, and a different carapace on the back that's way cooler. So he was going under the working title Axe Head when the figure was being produced and when they released prototype images and stuff, and I was like, I thought that Kaiju was called Trespasser, and oh yeah, it is Trespasser. I was right. So yeah, very cool figure. Pre-ordered this guy and knife head on Amazon for $26 a piece. Very cool. Very, very cool. And I have not been let down. NECA is kicking butt with this series. I mean, some of their earlier Pacific Rim figures have been fragile, which is mostly just the Jaegers, and the Kaiju have been undersized, just because that was the only cost-effective way to do it. But they've split the lines up. Now there's a Kaiju line and a Jaeger line, so they can make the Kaiju bigger and give them more articulation and etc. And, you know, they can give the Jaegers more articulation and make them more durable and all that stuff also. But yeah, Trespasser, here he is. Let's get into it. So, very just amazing figure overall. Lots of great articulation. You can see the head goes down pretty far and up enough. He can turn around and go to the sides a lot. He has a lot more head movement than Knife Head does. He also has a jaw articulation. He opens his mouth pretty far, as you can see. And it stays up normally. I don't know why it was just falling down, because it doesn't normally do that. It stopped. I guess it was just because I pulled it down so far for a second. But up and down on the arms, forward and back on the arms there. You have an elbow bend and a rotation right there. Also you have all this wrist movement. So that's very cool. Also the tiny arms have a lot more articulation now. You can see you can move them all about, up and down, side to side, all kinds of little movement in there. No joint there, but that's fine, because you have all this movement here in the hand, up and down, side to side, swiveling, all kinds of stuff going on there. Also you got in and out on the legs, up and down on the legs. You got knee bend, rotation, also up and down on the foot, pivot, movement, side to side. All kinds of stuff, and I'm not surprised NECA did this. I'm just surprised they did this with this figure. Bendable wire in the tail. I wouldn't bend it too much because it'll start the fray and etc. I mean, my xenomorphs haven't started the fray yet, but you know, eventually they always do, no matter what. That's not a NECA thing. That's just a bendable tail thing. But yeah, so articulation pretty awesome. Now for detail, this guy is incredibly well detailed. They painted his mouth so that it would look like it was glowing, kind of. Very cool effect. Got these big jagged teeth. All these yellow lines and stuff in his blade here. Multiple eyes. I love all the multiple eyes in the Pacific Rim Kaiju. I remember Del Toro said that he didn't want their bodies to reference any older classic Kaiju. He didn't want them to be references. He wanted them to be as original as possible. But he also wanted them to look like a person could fit in the suit. And I definitely think they look like a person could go in the suit. The ones I'm more familiar with anyways. The ones I remember. He has this big, awesome carapace on his back with lots of different shades of brown and stuff. And lots of the paint's been kind of, as you can see right there, the packaging just scratched it off the black parts, but that can be easily touched up. You see it's a lot of brown there now, where it should be black. But he's got his nice fluorescence all down his body. As you can see, he's got a nice brown on the chest here. He's got a, like you can see, color in the cracks of his skin. Very just beautiful detail. Big claws, also a little scraped up from the packaging, because I just took this guy out of packaging and articulated him a bit and etc. before doing the review. Oh, also, I might have forgot this, I can't remember. Waist articulation. So, there's that, sorry. But, you know, really great looking figure. Detail on the bottom of the feet and everything. Just very wow in both the articulation and the detail departments. But yeah, so now about you some size comparisons. Now here's Trespasser with some Series 2 Pacific Rim figures, the Battle Damage Gypsy Danger and Leatherback Kaiju, which you can get in a 2-pack or separate. 2-pack's cheaper, just so you know. And they're the same as the single carded. So 2-pack, get the 2-pack. But yeah, you know, I feel it probably scales well with Gypsy Danger. I mean, I do believe Trespasser is a Category 1 Kaiju since he was the first one to appear. That makes sense, logic. He's, I guess, taller than Gypsy Danger. I mean, the Jaegers are never going to have the mass of the Kaiju, just this huge mass. But I guess Gypsy's head might be a little higher than Trespasser's. Not sure. I'm just going to say they look good together. Trespasser and Gypsy Danger look like they could have a good fight. Gypsy is a little undersized. Not by much, just a tiny bit. And the Gypsy Danger 2.0 that we're going to get in Series 4 is going to be a tiny bit bigger and have maybe some plasma cannon hands and a little boat he can swing. But, yeah, I think they look fine together. He is bigger than the Leatherback Kaiju, which can be a problem because, well, it's kind of a logic gripe, but it's not a figure gripe. Understand this. Category 1, larger than one of the 2 largest Category 4s ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong here, okay? I'm glad they made their Kaiju bigger. I'm glad they have more articulation. I'm glad they separated into a line and are giving us more Kaiju and more Jaegers at the same time. I think the Jaegers aren't out yet when I'm filming this. They come out a week after these guys, and I got these guys like the day after they came out in the mail, so. But I mean, I don't think they scale well together. I mean, I like the way my Leatherback looks with my Jaegers and stuff, but I don't think he's big enough is the thing. But I'm not saying they should have made Trespasser smaller. I am not saying that at all. I think Trespasser is a fantastic size. I just, I'm not saying they should have made Leatherback bigger either, because he would have been very expensive if Leatherback was, you know, this huge. Because I think Leatherback's great in this size. It just feels off, but I think you can display them next to each other and not have a problem. And it's all Pacific Rim, it's all NECA, it's all great. Here's Trespasser with 2 of my favorite monsters from one of my favorite Ultra series. It is Dinosaur and Bogal from Ultraman Mebius, and personally I think he's too big for them. I don't know if they're the same size height-wise and stuff, because I know it's like 50 meters, and he's supposed to be like 60 or 70 or something like that, I think. Maybe 60. I don't know how big Trespasser is. I probably should have looked it up on the wiki, but I talk about exact size in my scaling, but it's not what I'm personally concerned with. I'm concerned with whether it looks cool or not, whether I think they could be displayed fighting each other and it wouldn't look awkward. And I think he's too big for these 6-inch Ultraman figures. He's not going to scale both Ultramen either. Even though, you know, if you have an Ultraman fighting him and he's bigger than an Ultraman, you know, that's cool. That's fine. I'm down with that. I may have my Ultraman Max hanging onto the side of him and trying to swat him away. And that'd be cool. But personally, you know, the other monsters, I'd want them to be the same size as Trespasser, so no go. Here's Trespasser with more Kaiju from other franchises. First up, Destroya from Godzilla. This is the Bandai creation, so lots of you Kaiju collectors watching might have this. But, I mean, Destroya is one of the bigger Godzilla monsters, one of the biggest. and Trespasser's larger, and I don't feel like that's right. I feel like Destroyer should be at least the same size. So Destroyer is big. And you know, it just doesn't work with me. And then here is Gauss from the Gamma series. That's the Memorial Box Gauss, if you're wondering. And, you know, it just looks awkward. It just wouldn't look like as fun of a fight. Trespasser would just crush Gauss at that size. But, you know, maybe if it was Heisei Gauss that big. But Heisei Gauss, I think, is even shorter than this Gauss. I don't have a Heisei Gauss. But I'm just not feeling it with these 6-inch vinyls. But that's not to say he doesn't scale up well with vinyls at all. Here's the 8-inch Banpresto Godzilla 2003 from Tokyo SOS. And I think these guys scale up great. I mean, he's bulkier than Godzilla, and Godzilla's just a little taller. These guys could face off. They could face off. This is great. I don't know if I'm going to display him with this Godzilla. I probably won't. Probably just going to have all my Pacific Rim stuff together. But very cool. Very, very cool. I have to say, they look great together. And I have a Banpresto Gigan too. I'm sure he'll look great with that. And there's one more figure we need to see now. Knifehead Kaiju! As you can see, this is the Knifehead that came out alongside Trespasser. I pre-ordered the Knifehead as well, if I didn't already mention that. But yeah, here they are together in all their glory. Knifehead is a tiny bit bigger, which, you know, he should be, because he's at the minimum Category 3. I can't remember if he's Category 3 or Category 4. My mind wants to say Category 3, and if I'm wrong, don't come after me, because, you know, I've seen Pacific Rim. I've watched it like 3 times. I saw it once in theaters, and I think I've watched my Blu-ray twice, you know. And, you know, they're cool and all. Very original, great movie. But I'm not going to memorize, you know, all the categories of the kaiju unless, you know, it's a big deal in the film. Because, you know, Trespasser would be a Category 1, and I feel like he'd be smaller than Knifehead. But at the same time, I'm very glad they didn't make Trespasser smaller. Because that would have been awful. And I'm very glad they didn't make Knifehead any larger than this. Because, I mean, he's already almost $30 like this. And I don't really want to pay more than, you know, the $25 in tax and shipping that I'm paying now. But I think these guys look great together. They should scale up well together in your collection. If you're into ACBA and taking pictures of your figs fighting and stuff, them attacking a city together would look awesome. Just saying. Great figures. Glad they were released. So all in all, what do I think of NECA's Series 3 Trespasser Kaiju from their Pacific Rim line? He's fantastic. I mean, both these kaiju, Trespasser and Knifehead, have impressed me to the fullest. Knifehead's great. Trespasser's great. NECA is doing their best to get us these figures. And this is a very popular line, it turns out. And as you can see, the figures have improved greatly since Wave 1 Knifehead and Gypsy Danger and stuff. If you go to the Figpla group, there's a poll I posted there where you can vote for what Pacific Rim figures you want to be in Series 4. So if you want Slattern or something, that's the way to get him. Anyways, yeah, very, very great figure, great paint, great detail, great articulation. Well, not the best articulation in the world, more than most of my cheap vinyl Godzilla figures. I paid more for Godzilla figures that have 6 points of articulation than this guy who has a ton. I mean, what a great figure. It's beautiful. He scales up well with your Jaegers, looks cool with your Knifehead, maybe a little awkward with your old Knifehead and, you know, your Leatherback, even though I love my Leatherback. But, you know, it's fine. Maybe your soft vinyl, cheaper Godzilla figures you won't scale up well with. Definitely not Trend Masters. But your 8-inch Godzilla figures from like Banpresto and your 8-inch Bandais and stuff, he's going to go great with those. And all in all, this figure deserves 5 out of 5 stars. He goes well with what he's supposed to go well with, and a little more beyond that. Heavily improved articulation. Lots of older NECA figures, I felt like they were going to break when I articulated them. Sometimes I feel like that when I'm articulating my Battle Damage Gypsy Danger. And I know lots of people have had their Gypsy Dangers break on them. Lots of people have had Striker Eurekas just fall apart. Lots of people have had the 2 little arms on their Crimson Typhoon break. But this guy, he's going to hold up well, I can tell. When I was moving his joints, I had no fear of breaking them. They moved well, but they were also very sturdy. And they stay where you want them to stay. They're not loose. This is a great figure all around. And the 5 out of 5 stars this guy gets, well deserved. I give him 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars, boy. So yeah, highly recommend picking this guy up before his price whoosh, shoots up, which it probably will, because this is the only Pacific Rim line in existence. I guess Monster Arts has been trying to get a hold of it, but if NECA keeps improving like this, I'm not going to need any Monster Arts. I might get some Monster Arts for Jaegers, but if they keep their Kaiju up like this, I'm not going to feel the need for Monster Arts Pacific Rim Kaiju, just Jaegers. But hey, I know they've improved their Jaegers too, new articulation and stuff. They might be better now. They might, I just have to be able to get my hands on some, is the problem. But yeah, this guy's great. As I said, 5 out of 5 stars. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Highly recommended for Kaiju fans, Pacific Rim fans, NECA fans, and figure fans of all kinds. But yeah, check out all the cool links in the description below. Links to Facebook, Twitter. We'll follow you back on Twitter. Links to the Slender Happening, B3 Productions, and Super Friends Benefit, which are my other channels. You know, that's my main channel, my horror suspense channel, and my gaming channel. So go check those out and subscribe. Also check out Corticon's YouTube channel. He and I host the Figpla podcast, which is all about figures and stuff. So be sure to check that out. Very, very cool. And that is it, you guys. Thank you all so very much for your support. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, highly recommended. If you already have this guy and you're just watching this review for fun and just want to know someone else's opinion and see someone else's figures, which I totally don't blame you for, I've done it too, then tell me what you think of the figure. I would love to know. It is very cool, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, NECA. But yeah, that's it. As I said, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you all later.